Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. Me. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So begins with 1. In wager. A4. The king's pawn surges forward. A bold declaration of war. Drawing first blood on the battlefield of ideas. Denes Boros counters with 1. Nine. In Dix. The perk defense unfurls. Quiet yet venomous. Like a cobra, waiting for the right moment to strike. Wesley calmly plays 2. D4, claiming the center with authority. His pawns marching shoulder to shoulder. Daring Boros to challenge them. Boros responds with 2 is 2. NF6, the knight leaps into the fray. Eyes locked on the e4 pawn. Probing for early weakness. Wesley answers with 3 Stroni. NC3, the second knight joins the front line. Reinforcing the stronghold and hinting at aggressive intentions. Boros strikes with 3 Dane. Enter Lorge. Ent. A5, counterpunching in the center. Forcing Wesley to make a decision, clash or retreat. Wesley chooses battle with 4 Terret. D5, the central pawn, captures boldly. Testing Boros' preparation and nerve. Boros retakes with 4 Stewin. Penvan was in Tuin, in a deal was an A. Nelmoway, ye no Willian, is Simesh Senimus Trajan, a Rodobia Zantan. Daniel and I. Dix F5, symmetry restored, Omon. Yet tension hangs heavy, both generals eye the open d-file. Wesley exchanges queens with 5. Wendy. Coup is datant, an early surprise. He lures Boros into an exposed king position right out of the gate. Boros accepts with 5 dead. Andezan Sao, Hanina Itana, and Diomestais, and Karina. Tanan. Kayekstite. His king steps into the open. An unorthodox march that risks everything for activity. Wesley develops with 6. Beg A5. The bishop pins the knight like a spear through armor. Exploiting Boros' uncastled king. Boros answers 6. Nestopes. Chinix, quietly building his fortress, guarding the d5 square, and preparing counterplay on the queenside. Wesley continues with 7 Tokien, immortal test, and assist a battalion. BC4. His bishop eyes the weakened f7 point. The Achilles heel of the uncastled monarch. Boros retreats safely with 7. Penukerinionusgen. Banyan men Deni, Indo und Shike, and Bendi. Anda. FCG. Astat. K8. His king takes cover on the back rank. Awkward yet temporarily secure. Wesley brings in 8.8. NF3. Another knight gallops into the field, linking forces and preparing the long castle. Boros plays 18 on the Mindewis play. Mentirwanen is Tianen always painted by is still. Nende, Enebezen was still, Idel Wukia. NBD7, developing steadily. The knights form a shield before the storm that Wesley is brewing. Wesley castles, long with 9. Oh, boom. The rook slides into battle, and the Kingside army is now fully armed for war. Boros develops his bishop with 9. Haste. Armadnasio call. Nurse. Besaven, seeking harmony before chaos. Though the calm won't last long. Wesley teases with 10 torch. Beha 4. His bishop taunts the knight, whispering threats into Boros' ear. Boros hits back with 10 Gawish. Immortal. Dunster. Eng 4. The knight lunges like a rogue assassin, daring Wesley to prove his courage. Wesley withdraws coolly with 11. And Denes So. BG3. Stepping aside but keeping pressure alive. His bishop still watching the king's every move. Boros reinforces with 11. Torchime. Nenen, and T1, Esturitoyan, Shisto, and Diet. F6, sealing the G5 square and tightening his grip. Though his structure grows heavy, Wesley plays 12 Paste. NDTU, a flexible maneuver, quietly repositioning for the coming storm. Boros pushes 12. Oh. Nantikanen, no Wenterdon, Inesis. Beef! The counterattack begins. Pawns charge on the queen's side, aiming to break open Wesley's fortress. Wesley meets it with 13. Always. B6, slicing diagonally. His bishop infiltrates the enemy camp like a spy in the night. Boros answers 13 pen. India. 1. Monoin. Engend. NC5, challenging the invader head-on, refusing to yield even an inch of territory. Wesley captures 14 toin. BX8, the bishop exchanges itself, trading elegance for tactical clarity. Boros retakes 14-10, and is in his independence. Und Beteri. Anini Winternan, in always Tiberin. And Metzerin, Alenia. Arik State. The rook slides into action. Now a deadly piece with open lines to exploit. Wesley builds tension with 15. F3, solidifying the center and preparing for the FR breakthrough. Boros replays 15. Nene. On a call. I. Anaja 6. The knight steps back into defense, watching both flanks like a wary sentinel. Wesley shifts with 16. Bf2. Redeploying his bishop, aiming at the weak kingside dark squares. Boros counters 16 Topian to Uoines. Lion. War in K. Yeah. IC7. Doubling rooks soon to come. His army reorganizes for the long war. Wesley plants 17 Apaise. NB3. The knight finds a juicy outpost, glaring at C5 and D4. Boros maneuvers with 17. Penolwen 10. Onin, on the 90th et odore, he published 30k. Inore. Nesix. The knight repositions for central dominance, a counterbalance to Wesley's initiative. Wesley continues 18. Pairs to war. ED2. The rook joins the fight, eyeing infiltration along the D file. Boros mirrors with 18.10. Nant. Naha. NF7. Preparing to challenge the center and coordinate his knights like a deadly duo. Wesley plays 19. Ordone, doubling rooks. His coordination is flawless. The calm before the explosion. Boros replies 19. Inestion, pendicule, testene. Ihnen, esteo, obrenum, in der Messias, in sa, ilog, in der Zahlen. Hayfief. The black pawns begin their march, a signal that the Kingside battle is about to ignite. Wesley coolly plays 20. A3. A quiet but deep move, building a shelter and preparing B4 at the right moment. Boros responds 20. Mande, Sio Winen. Nenido Kai, and Descentia. G6, reinforcing the kingside, his pawns forming a dark wall of defense. Wesley retreats 21. A3, regrouping his bishop, preparing to pivot toward the open diagonals. Boros pushes 21. Teste. Intium. Nende. Estelmade, Engayi, Ogiweste, Abiaperi. A4. The first strike lands, a claw tearing into Wesley's kingside defense. Wesley defends with 22. A3, stopping the advance cold, building a human shield of pawns. Boros energizes 22. Teruijan. Ento. Ali. 5. A bold central break, opening lines and testing Wesley's composure. Wesley strikes back 23. X5, opening files, his calculation sharp as a blade. Boros recaptures 23 to Pinasson, Midges. Eintunsen. Andesan. Oidami. Endenidendevine. Say. Iloros. GSF5. The Kingside bursts open. Tension escalating with every breath. Wesley shifts his knight 24 try. Natvu, repositioning. His eyes now fixed on the weak queenside pawns. Boros pushes 24-30. Head in Negan. Endeza. Entun. Asinian. C5. The board explodes with counterplay. Every pawn, a ticking bomb. Wesley continues 25. Pist 8. NC3. Tightening control. His pieces ready to leap at the slightest weakness. Boros challenges 25 Tettitai. Ezan man. Besering, Onora Mistheim. Netzi 1. Enmimonis Setjan. And Western Schurstis NC. N4. The knight storms forward, centralizing with menace. Demanding confrontation. Imwes Uniobischik Payan. Wesley replies 26. Four, cracking the center open. His offensive instincts now fully unleashed. Boros captures 26. In 91 hunt, in an edition, id shekstuai. Nenden on, yimu, sen and essay. XB3, a sharp exchange. Eliminating a key defender. Wesley recaptures 27. Pen. CXB3. The pawn structure bends but doesn't break. The A file opens for revenge. Boros advances 27 Tarint. Ant. Amnesia. A4. Shoving forward with force. Transforming defense into counterattack. As the battlefield erupts into chaos. Wesley answers 28. ND5. The knight springs to life like a thunderbolt, planting itself deep in enemy territory and daring Boros to challenge it. Boros coolly responds 28. Anin. Etiniain. Enotinain. Mestendiosuan. Anapestic mistage. Archie 6. His rook slides over, defending the weak points and preparing to counterattack on the c-file. Wesley slashes with 29. Nix C7. The knight sacrifices its outpost to open new lines of destruction. Boros retakes 29. On. Anis. K7. The king is dragged into the battlefield again. A risky, but necessary recapture. Wesley increases the pressure with 30. Argy's even. The rook storms in, cutting across the 7th rank like a blade. Boros steps aside with 30. Ulmanil. Oh. Enter Nin. K6. The monarch retreats, clinging to fragile safety amid the storm. Wesley captures 31 Terry. Irx 7. material force, heavy weight, tepsija. The a-pawn vanishes, and Wesley's rooks begin to feast. Boros counters, 31 teste. Anschen. Denne und ein Olenchorisch, in eine Baboon, Chawanes, Altien. Antwenhei. Argate, his rook eyes the open g-file, hinting at desperate counterplay. Wesley doubles down with 32. Deceiving. Both rooks dominate the board. The pressure, now unbearable. Boros defends, 32. Indon, Iyimamuisai. Indian, as Samus tune, Teraswaigor Benekadi. In d6, his knight rushes back to protect what's left of his crumbling position. And Wesley calmly plays, 33. Bft2, developing with deadly precision. He keeps all attacking options alive. Boros tries, 33 to try. Nt. Antimesio. Enzate, retreating to hold the dark squares. But his pieces suffocate. Wesley swings, 34. AJ7, doubling firepower on the 7th rank. His coordination looks unstoppable. Boros pushes, 34. Interdan, Motikea. A date, attempting to trade rooks. Praying for relief. Wesley strikes 35. Penicuin. Bxh4. The bishop snaps a pawn, tearing into the Kingside and exposing new wounds. Boros answers 35. Nyani. Windobonessen, we sing chewe, and a silla, canis simon, mebeniok. d6, defending desperately, but the cracks widen. Wesley continues 36. Race 7, all guns on deck, the rooks stand like twin cannons ready to fire. Boros thrusts, 36. Oi. Ana, Nitanokoi, Ninguendon, as Senwanianechten. E3, his last pawn storm. Trying to carve a miracle through chaos. Wesley coolly replies 37. Rf6, a precise check, forcing the king further into the line of fire. Boros dodges, 37, Port Indian. Anikto. Hanandistanian. Kd 5. The monarch runs. Hunted across the field. Wesley chases with 38. H5, another check. Slicing through black's defenses like lightning. Boros, fleece. Unknown, Ganutomon. Andan, Egestindi. KD4, the king is out in the open. A lonely wanderer, surrounded by danger. Wesley renews the assault 39. Re5, the rook cuts off escape routes. Preparing the final ambush. Boros counters 39. Perwoloyan Dechen, Pedistilwenes Ishwukshiden, Midashtantelie. Ishte. Nenes son. C4, trying to distract. But it's only buying time. Wesley steadies, 42, and shady. Bayon, calm precision. Tightening the noose, one square at a time. Boros swings, 40. Ints. Indy. RG6, desperate to create threats. But every move feels like a gasp for air. Wesley checks, 41, T2. Erd7. The rooks coordinate perfectly, dragging the king back into the storm. Boros replies, 41. And in mein, says Serdmanen. RCD6, blocking the check, but sealing his own fate. Wesley continues, 42. Ace d6, exchanging rooks with ruthless accuracy. Boros retakes, 42. Menine, Kirsten. And it Panen. Olle Antimai, Ach, und Bo, Beschrendi Juli. NXD6, still fighting, though his army is in tatters. Wesley pushes 43. RG5, maintaining the attack, refusing to let Boros breathe. Boros strikes back, 43. Ngaunjao. Nen, and Fein. Re6, covering key squares, clinging to survival by threads. Wesley develops 44. Pantse Messi, in Warmundhulen, in Pseudonishaneza Pelle. BC3T, a thunderous check, forcing the king to stumble again. Pen Norway ascended. Boros sidesteps 44. Pernin, and the Senish Kenny, a new Jadel Terran that she dway. Istanin. Ne? KD3, heading deeper into enemy territory. A doomed adventure. Emisil. Wesley responds, 45. Gunan. His own king joins the fight, calmly tightening control. Boros fights on, with 45 to and Kizun Dini today. Unterstande. Power. Gamian or Winwich at sea. At one last burst of defiance, pushing a pawn to promotion range. Wesley meets it, 46. Keone, unshaken, blocking the pawn's dream with regal precision. Boros reorganizes, 46. Namana. Anan. Panyawis. Nay4, throwing his knight into the fray, trying to create complications. Wesley strikes, 47. AD5, another precise check, peeling away black's defenses. Boros retreats, 47. Timen no rependis. En. Meine Bonon. Tolin yan wessin, en bilbik showlostus. Case T2, the king runs, but there's nowhere left to hide. Wesley continues, 48. Re5, chasing relentlessly. The rook hunts like a predator. Boros counters, 48, Peste, and then soon, in this pace. Estayun, then when centers to one, the anchovies says Under. X5, exchanging to relieve the pressure. But it's too late. Wesley recaptures, 49, Pursuing Saint Hindedwe to stay immortal. Bx5, the bishop returns fire, restoring dominance in the endgame. Boros moves 49, Teptitates. Entpe, Pessinaya. Nanadindi. KD3, the king inches forward, refusing surrender even as darkness closes in. Wesley pushes 52. Bxt4, the queenside awakens, pawns transform into an unstoppable wave. Boros replies 50 Zun. Unnasendai. Monmayan, Sa, Ai, and Dao Ga. Bxc4, mirrored resistance. But his hope fades with every move. Wesley advances, 51, Pesh. F5, slicing open the kingside. His pawns march like soldiers to glory. Boros shifts, 51, that is a day. Nel, Anams. Ninda. NC5, the knight scrambles for counterplay. But the board belongs to white, now. Wesley continues, 52. BC3, every piece sings in harmony. Cutting off escape, and guarding promotion squares. Boros, grown, 52 at assist. Nyanan. Antume. K3, his king staggers toward its final stand. Wesley adds pressure 53. BD2, the bishop checks with surgical precision, forcing one last retreat. Boros moves 53 Teste. Einstillmeis. Endbench. Kefur, exhausted but defiant, playing on pure instinct. Wesley finishes with 54, Testen, Chirolasiu. F6, the final thrust. Sealing victory as Boros' defenses collapse, and the game ends 1-0. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again. Everyone, see you in the next video.